Welcome, man, to the EJC NFL pod. I am slow on the uptick today. I forgot to get the old tweet out there, but we're about to do it here in a second. Facebook just let me know we went live, so that's cool. How are you
Same
doing?
here.
How are you fellas
Same.
doing?
Reading this Facebook. Yep. Same.
What did you say?
Living strong. Why would you even ask?
Well, last week you weren't living strong. You said you were just living like mediocre.
Yeah, but then we found out a lot of things about you. That just
Yeah.
perked me on up.
Yeah.
Did you just say that perked you on up?
Oh, yeah.
Was that a boner joke?
Oh, man. Damn it. I literally forgot the peanut butter. I was going to prepare a crunchy peanut butter sandwich in front
Yes.
That would be okay,
And I
because then you wouldn't be able to
completely
talk,
forgot about
and that would make the show better.
That would have been phenomenal. I would have popped real hard for that.
What's up, Cam? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm a hat guy now. If you haven't noticed, that's about all that's new.
So you can never take that hat off, right? Is that what happens when you become a hat guy?
Well, no, I will exchange hats frequently and spend
Let me ask you-
unprecedented amount of money on hats.
Let me ask you a question. Why is that duck behind you? Looks like it wants to kill you.
Oh, dude, it's back, dude.
There's
so
a duck
yeah,
right behind
we
you.
got 3 ducks that live in the pool, man. Like during the summertime. Well, during this time, and then they fly away in the summer. And
They live in
Yeah.
the summertime?
we
You guys just go out there and swim with the ducks?
we live with ducks, and I'll punch a duck, dude.
It's,
I don't give-
it's like an aviary in your backyard. I love it.
Yeah, I'm just adding to the aesthetic. Come to EJC NFL podcast to see beautiful ducks while we
See-
talk.
See a duck. It'll be great.
One of these episodes, I'm gonna run and grab it, and I'm just gonna fucking be like,
That's
I've
going to be our
I've heard they're assholes. Like, that's not the first time I'm hearing that.
oh yeah, they're horrible.
ducks
I hate
and
'em.
geese and like all those things. They're not like they're kind of dicks. For
They're
sure.
unacceptable to
They're
nature.
uncouth against God.
Yeah.
Anywho, well, that was a tangent that we just went off on.
Wow.
We
great
are
start.
here. We are yes, great start. But we were just acting crazy before this thing started, so this is gonna be a fun episode. NFC North fantasy prognostications. God dang it! Who named this? That I have to say that the whole time. It was me. I'm an idiot.
It was you.
Yeah, I know. Jesus Christ. Anyways, we're going to be going over all 4 NFC North teams, hitting their fantasy relevant players, kind of giving what we think about the lay of the land, how they might do this season, mainly focused on redraft. However, we can definitely throw some dynasty tidbits and stuff out there as well. So we'll go ahead and get started with that in a second. But first, we had a cool article by Cynthia Freeland, who is amazing. Where am I at? Sorry, guys, I suck. But it was an article popped up, I think May 12th, where she used her simulation to kind of give win totals for each team in the NFL. So we're going to go over a few of those. I'm going to get these guys' genuine reactions because they have not seen this information yet.
Mm-mm.
So y'all want to start in the NFC or the AFC?
NFC.
Yeah.
NFC.
We'll save
So-
the best for last.
Okay, well, that's enough for you. That's enough out of you.
Yeah, let's start with the soft one.
Coming in hot.
Softball. And it actually is kind of true. But anyways, so Tampa Bay, as you can imagine, 12.2. They lead the NFC in Cynthia Freeland's prediction. So if anybody pops up new, we're going over Cynthia Freeland's simulated win totals for each team in the 2021 season. So no
And
surprises.
say what
there.
the segment's called. Say it again.
Oh, I'm so sorry. This is our news, rumors, conjecture, our insane babble. It's called "You Talking Good."
You talking good?
It's your birthday.
Oh, you talking good? That's
Just
all
a
I wanted.
Quick backstory: 60 days in, me and Cameron watching this. We were at Myrtle Beach, or so I don't know what we're doing, but we were drinking a little bit. And this dude was in the pod in this jail, and he was like, "Yeah, it's my birthday." And these dudes surrounded him, saying, "Oh, it's your birthday. You talking good?" And they just beat the shit out of him.
They
For
kicked the
no
shit out
reason.
of that guy. Just because
For having a birthday,
You can't escape that.
for being born. Don't go to jail and be born because that ain't gonna happen.
If you have a birthday in jail, you're fucked.
Well, yeah.
You're talking good, or
Oh.
maybe don't go to jail and talk good. That's
There
another.
you go.
thing,
That's
too.
what it is.
Well, one that surprised me, honestly. So it goes Tampa Bay 12.2, Green Bay 10.4. The next team on the list is San Francisco at 10.3 wins. Predicted wins for San Francisco's 10.3, third in the NFC. Is that like that surprised me?
Yeah, it's a little rough. I think Tampa's is a little low.
Considering it's a 17-game season.
It's wild hearing that name. Like at 3, did not expect that. Like, do people think that they made enough moves during this draft and this offseason to just come in like a bat out of hell? Or
go ahead, Jason.
Well, they run the hell out of the ball. We give them that.
Yeah.
And we'll give them the exceptional defense. But you lose your DC, so we're not really – we want to see it before we believe it right now. We lost an important member of the team. And, for me, Jimmy G's been run through the mud, and then here we come and we project a 10-win season, and you think, well, then why'd you go get the Trey Lance? Like, what was that about? So I don't know if that's – I need a little bit more information than just that.
Yeah, I think that's I like San Francisco for this upcoming year. I think they're one of the better teams in the NFC. But to be the third, like they're third in her predicted total wins, wow, that's wild. So Arizona follows at 9.2. They're tied with the Washington football team. So that's that rounds out the top, 5 there. Right below them Dallas Cowboys at 9. So 9 and 8. I have to look at their schedule and see what I think about that. I can tell that you guys you think it's too low, right?
No, I go back a little bit. I gave their draft, but after looking at it again and going back and mostly just looking at DeMarcus, help me out. I always want to say DeMarcus
Lawrence.
I can't
DeMarcus
do it.
Lawrence.
DeMarcus
it's hard.
Ware
Yeah,
Jr.
DeMarcus Ware is great.
The second.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Lawrence. I went back and looked at him. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they can do it. I think the corner addition there and having the defensive end, they're building on it. I think I've said they're the best offense in football. So it's not surprising to me that the Washington football team would be right in front of them because defense wins championships.
And
so
Heineke.
You have the best defensive team in football immediately followed by the best offensive team in football. And that's an interesting little spot there.
It's going to be so fun to watch those two teams play this season. Like, just different philosophies, especially if Heineke's on the field. But, shoot. Fitzpatrick out there, though, slinging the pill around. Love it.
I love it.
Slinging pills. Not selling drugs, but slinging the pills.
He might sell drugs. We can't prove anything.
He kind of looks like it. Looks like it. So we got a little thing from our boy, Teran. Watch the football team. I always read that as WTF. So
I do, too.
Should definitely be good next year. Agreed, 100%. I think they're definitely the favorites for the NFC East. So we'll move on. There's 6 teams right here in the 8 range. The Los Angeles Rams 8.8, Chicago Bears, surprising to me, 8.7, Seattle 8.6, New Orleans 8.5, Minnesota 8.4, and Carolina, that's another surprising one, 8.3. So that's just a big long run of kind of mediocre-ish teams. I like the Rams a lot. My love for the Rams this season has been on display. Was anybody on there too high, too low for y'all?
Did I hear Tennessee at all?
We're doing NFC.
We're doing the NFC, Jason.
Oh,
you
sorry.
specifically requested the NFC.
For a moment, I was like,
did you fall asleep?
No, I got upset. I was like, hold on. It's always a slight when you get to the numbers. No, I don't like.
He's like,
I don't
why
like
is it
Seattle.
Tennessee at 10 wins?
I don't like Seattle as an 8-win team. I think they're better.
A high 8. It's 8.6. So
I like them better than that. I think when you're talking about you got a handful of guys who you could put in the top 5 at quarterback, and I love Russell Wilson. I don't see him as an 8-team quarterback or 8-win quarterback.
That defense is.
They're working on it. They're working on it. You got Jamal Adams. I like it. Okay.
And then just rounding out the bottom, Atlanta, 7.4. The Giants, 7.1. Philadelphia, 5.7. And then at the very bottom, lowest predicted win total by Cynthia Freeland in the entire NFL, Detroit at 4.3. I don't see any surprises there.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that 2 of the top or the 2 bottom 3 teams in the NFC are in the NFC East. That bodes well for Dallas's chance to win that division.
Oh, y'all got it this year. That's going to happen.
People hate Jalen Hurd. I hope the guy goes out there and just tears people apart. I hope he's just incredibly impressive. He's getting no love whatsoever. Almost everyone I listen to is instantly just done with him.
Somebody just so Tran says Vikings. Yeah, Vikings said he doesn't feel like they did great with their draft this year. Besides Darshaw, from Virginia Tech, the left tackle. Yeah, I think Minnesota's kind of they're a pretty veteran team though. That seems about right to me, like right in the middle. That's what Minnesota reminds me of. They're just a right in the middle, 8-9, 9-8 type team.
They're an offense that's capable of doing whatever they could have the highest ceiling in the NFL. I mean, Justin Jefferson only broke Randy Moss and Anquan Bolden's rookie records. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Second year guy there. Certainly, we expect him just to keep being a badass from here. Thielen's great. You got Irv Smith. You got the youth at tight end now. I don't know, man. I love Kirk Cousins. You know, people love to shit on him, but I love Kirk Cousins. Honestly, that team could be as good as they want to be. They can score with anybody. I mean, they're only 2 seasons, from being deep in the playoffs. So I don't know. I mean, they did sign Ngakoue, a defensive end, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Minnesota.
We'll see. I think they could go as far as Kirk Cousins can carry him, and he actually did pretty dang well last year. So
yeah.
And you
I agree with you. I totally agree. That's actually what me and Erik were talking about before we started this. I was like, man, I like Kirk Cousins. Like, I've always liked him. Like, fucking, and then there's the guy that everybody knows, Dalvin Cook's back there. So I mean, yeah, it's going to be a wild year for them. I think people are really underestimating what they're going to do.
It confused me though when Cam said it. He goes, "I like Cousins." We weren't talking about Minnesota. He goes, "I like Cousins." I was like, "Bro, we're from the South. You can't say that." That's
the worst.
That's funny. All right, so let's run through the AFC real quick.
All right.
Excuse me. Jesus Christ.
Tennessee.
So Tennessee 9.7. That's what Cynthia Freeland thinks for them. There's actually 9 teams.
What?
9.7.
I'll kill the messenger. I don't care.
So that's kind of 10 and 7, right? That's what you're kind of looking at.
Yeah.
Above them in their division is Indianapolis at 9.8. So it's splitting hairs, it sounds like. But I mean, Kansas City 11.9, Buffalo right behind them 11.1, and then Baltimore 10.8, Cleveland 10.5. And then we talked about Indianapolis. Miami's at 9.8 as well. This one surprised me. New England at 9.2.
Whoa.
I was like, really? Because
I mean, maybe it's just looking at it as like, because I think New England's going to do pretty good this year. Like, I think people are underestimating Aguilar, who's projected to be the wide receiver 1 after the year he had last year, and the way they totally just changed, like, what was it, the entire defense? They just went wild, man. I really think that Belichick is really going to pull that together, and like, I'm not saying they're going to be the greatest team ever. They might not be the Patriots of old, but you're definitely going to see an improvement from last year.
they had the most COVID opt-outs too. So they're getting some players back.
Big time player.
Yeah. So I don't hate that take, Cam, at all. I just think 9.2, that seems a little bit high, but it's weird because I'm so conditioned to look at a 16 team schedule or a 16 game schedule. So I'm like, holy smokes, 9 and whatever, 9 and 7. But yeah, man, we'll see. Denver, actually, this is a good one. I liked the Chargers are at 9.1, and then a full game behind them is Denver at 8.1. So you have three AFC West teams predicted to win 8 or more games. So that's gonna be a tough division.
Yeah. No, it should be amazing to watch those guys.
Cam says, Tran says, I can't believe I'm with Cam.
Yeah, man. Facts is facts.
Even if they're from a mortal enemy.
Yeah,
that's the first time they've agreed.
Yeah, probably.
Let's get to speaking of Tran. He's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He was on the podcast, 4 or 5 episodes ago? Yep. Pittsburgh Steelers, 7.7 wins. Was it worth it, guys? Was it worth it to bring Ben Roethlisberger back to win maybe 8 games and not make the playoffs?
I think they're going to do worse this year, man. I feel like it's going to be worse. Like this is just a slow decline, man. We're starting to see when you light the firecracker and it starts going, we're seeing it now and we're getting there. And it'll either be this year or next year that it's going to explode and it's just going to fall the fuck apart if they keep Roethlisberger.
Well,
I'm so ready for it.
The more I look at it, the more I'm starting to understand it. You had to make a decision. Do we keep this defense together that we've built, or do we keep this offense together that we've built? Because they couldn't have both. And so what they did was they mostly kept the offense together. And when you look at it on paper, right, you've got Roethlisberger, you've got the 3 badass wide receivers, you've got Ebron at tight end, you've got Najee Harris, who's going to be, I think, special in the NFL. A little bit of a bigger back, a bruiser. You can count on him. He can also play receiver. I heard he's been lining up at wide receiver a lot. They're doing all kinds of stuff with Najee. And Najee's not a small running back. So I really like him in an era where linebackers are a little bit undersized. We talked about it with Henry. I really like Najee because he's a little bit more, but he's also diverse and dynamic. He can do a lot of different things for you. So I really think it hinges on him. So if I'm the GM and I see this is my opportunity as Najee Harris, or down the line I'm getting a running back or somebody special in the first round of the draft, where I'm going to try to do something with this offense. We talk about it all the time. People have these short windows that they have to win in, and even though Ben is that old, I kind of see Bud Dupree and a couple other guys, or try to give Ben Roethlisberger one more season to throw at these crazy receivers and see what we can do. I don't think that was a bad decision in the end.
Man, we'll see. If Roethlisberger can open up a little bit and stop short arming the ball, and he can actually give Clace Chapel some targets that are downfield instead of the past 2 seasons have been Ben Roethlisberger's lowest average depth of target seasons in his career. That means the arm is going.
It's offensive line play. It's not.
And I was going to say, I wanted to bring that up. Tran read my mind. Tran says the fact that they grabbed 2 decent offensive linemen and a young tight end was a very good draft. I don't disagree. I think the Steelers had a pretty good draft. Besides taking a running back in the first round, which you should never do. Don't care who they are. But I totally forgot where I was going with it. Oh,
you were saying his arm. You were saying his arm wasn't there.
I don't think so. And then one injury to an offensive lineman, you're done. You're done because you're already starting not great offensive linemen as you're starting maybe 2 rookies. I think Keith said it one time. He was saying that they drafted was it Freiermuth? Who did they draft for the tight end? Anyways, they drafted one of the tight ends. Freiermuth, perfect. He's going to be out there playing right tackle for you. If there's one injury. So
look, man, I don't think it's his arm at all. I think if you really watch that team over the last few years, they're trying to run a hurry-up offense. They're trying to get the ball out of his hands. They know their offensive line play has been poor. And, like they said a moment ago, they finally went out and drafted 2 guys. But they hadn't done a good job building on the offensive line in some time. And that's the real reason that his depth of play has gone down. I think Ben Roethlisberger can still air it out. He's a big, strong dude, man. That's a big guy.
Yeah, he got that big-ass head.
This kind of guy that gets what was it? He was on a motorcycle accident the day before a playoff game.
Something like that.
No helmet. It's just no. I don't think.
I'm just curious how much that injury to his elbow is affecting him too. He got Tommy John surgery basically.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see. I don't disagree. If my thing is, if Ben Roethlisberger airs the ball out and he shows he still has an arm to do that, if they allow him to hold on to the ball in the pocket longer, like you were saying, Jason, it's super quick, routes. So he's got the talent around him. He's got the weapons. Can that offensive line hold up long enough to let them get downfield? But anyway, 7.7, and then just round it off. The rest of these teams are pretty much in the order you would think of: Cincinnati, Las Vegas, Jacksonville, New York Jets, and Houston. Houston's at 4.4, which is crazy to me that they're not at like 1.0. They might win one game this season. Jason loves it because he hates the Houston Texans. He hates the Jacksonville Jaguars. So you're full of yourself right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love to watch them lose.
That's
true.
That is going to do it for You Talking Good. We'll get into the segment here after a word from our sponsor. No, I'm just playing. We don't have any sponsors. Somebody gives a care.
I got
so.
I was
so
like,
Jason,
oh shit.
Yeah. So Jason, I'm going to start with you. So just a little backstory. Jason and I both took teams. Cam's lazy. He's just been out there yelling at ducks and stuff. He didn't do anything. The duck is still behind you. It's so awesome. Jason and I took two teams apiece. Go ahead and choose one of your teams, Jason, and kind of go over those fantasy relevant players. And feel free to ask us questions, what you think about it. Feel free to chime in the chat too, folks.
Yeah, tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, tell him he's a big idiot, and I'll drop the caption if he says something real stupid. Y'all know which one it is.
Okay, so we're going to start with the Packers because there's the most uncertainty there, and we know that this could be a complete wash. So I'm going to try to give you a little bit of insight, if and or, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers was a QB1 in fantasy in 2020. He's going to be a top 5 quarterback anywhere he goes. So we can be safe here. We know Aaron Rodgers is going to play. Well, we hope he's going to play football. That'd be the only way that we're screwed. And wouldn't that be something to lose the QB1? Just poof. But I hope he plays. I believe he will play. We talked about him having the same lawyer as Carson Wentz, or Carson Palmer back in the day, and that was a terrible one. We hope Carson Wentz. Well, that's probably how Carson got out of Philly. Yeah, I see Aaron Rodgers playing this year. You can put him anywhere between QB1 and 5. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers,
top 5, man.
In fantasy, no, I don't think so.
What?
Personally, nope. This is it. This is reason why.
Okay.
We're getting Dak back. Kyler Murray hopefully will have a full season without injury. So I'm taking. I'll just ask this to y'all. What do you think? This is my top 5, just literally off the top of my head, not in order, but Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, and let's go. No. Not Aaron Rodgers.
I agree with everything you said. Just throw Rodgers in there too.
I'm good right there. That's my 5.
I literally just had him in. Oh, Lamar Jackson.
I want him to be.
I was going to say, didn't you just trade for him?
I want him to be. But no, Aaron Rodgers.
That's fair. He has the possibility to be top 5. No problem.
Yeah,
somewhat of an agreement.
Also, I think by some miracle he will be back with the Pack. I hope so.
I do too.
I just can't see him walking away from it. But some people are being honest when they say this stuff.
As a Rodgers and Adams owner, I fucking hope to God he's back in Green Bay.
Right. We're definitely going to get to him in a second.
Yeah.
We're going to glaze over the easy ones here. Well, an easy one and a sleeper for you. Aaron Jones, who's the RB6. He just got paid. He's 26 years old. He could be top 5 running back any day, anytime. I mean, dude's incredible. And if Rodgers doesn't go to Green Bay, you know he's going to get the rock even more. So safe, just as safe as you could ever be. Safe play.
Love him. I don't know what is it? Do you have his ADP?
His ADP. No.
I can. That's fine. I'll look it up while you talk, dude. I'm curious where he's going because I would probably take him in top 5 or top 6, honestly, as far as running backs go.
Well, he was RB6 in 2020, so. But
he was like the RB2 in 2019.
Right.
He's great.
So AJ Dillon, though, if we actually look at this, and this is for anyone who's playing in a deep league, like if you're playing with 12 teams and you got to have some flex players, or you're playing in Dynasty and you got to have some flex players, I love AJ Dillon. In 2020, Jamal Williams was the RB38. Okay, he had 113 points. Dillon was the RB80 with 40. So Jamal Williams is gone. We saw in the playoffs how A.J. Dillon was getting that ball, man. And he was getting it right there with Jones. He really took the position from Jamal Williams. So if you figure Jamal Williams was RB 38, when you're playing in a deep league, A.J. Dillon can be a guy that if you snag him late, he can win you your season because he's going to get his fair share of carries. And again, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play for the Green Bay Packers, A.J. Dillon will get even more of a little boost because they'll be handing the ball off more. Any arguments there?
Astute observation.
His legs are crazy big. That's all I'm going to say.
He's a strong man. He's an intense guy.
He's living strong.
He's benching. He's squatting strong for sure.
Yeah. I wish I could talk about the depth of wide receiver, but I don't see much. We obviously know Davante Adams was wide receiver 1. I hate this for Davante because Davante is in the prime of his career. 28 years old. This should be the season. You were just the wide receiver 1 in fantasy. You're a quarterback with just a quarterback 1 in fantasy. You're obviously an incredible duo. We want you both on the field together. We want more of that. But if it doesn't happen, Davante Adams, I can't call him boom or bust because you just can't have any expectation of boom. So you hope the guy still scores a touchdown here and there. You hope the guy gets 7 to 8 targets a game, if not more. We just don't know. We can't know right now. And because we can't know about him, we really can't know about anyone behind him. There's talk about Amari Rodgers, the rookie, being the next Randall Cobb. But again, it's just so much conjecture. And until we know where Aaron Rodgers is, I'm staying away from all these wide receivers. And just know this. If you're a Davante Adams owner, in fantasy and dynasty, he's only signed through this year. So in 2022, he can go somewhere and he can be great for you. But you do stand to lose the season with Davante Adams. Thoughts?
No, I am an Adams owner. I feel like he's going to do good regardless because if you go back and look at the year Rodgers got hurt, I believe it was.
He broke his collarbone.
Yeah, he still did good. I don't think it's the fact of
the ball?
I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but I was just actually looking at it a couple weeks ago.
Was it just? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't either. But I mean,
it was Deshaun Kaiser.
From what I looked at, he still did really good. I don't think Davante Adams is locked on to Rodgers. I mean, granted, I think that Rodgers had a lot to do with him being number 1, but Davante, I don't see him falling. If Rodgers does leave, he'll probably fall out of the number 1, obviously. But I wouldn't see him going too much farther down the line. I think he's always going to be like, really the next 2 seasons, especially. He's like you said, he's in the prime of his career, man. He's going to look good regardless.
Rodgers just helps his ceiling massively. He scored 18 touchdowns last season, for Christ's sake, which I think the next closest person had like 10. Yeah. So Davante Adams, his ceiling is hurt a lot by Rodgers, but his floor is boosted by the fact that he is the only person getting targets there. There's nobody. They drafted Amari Rodgers in round 3, I want to say. That's awesome. He's still a rookie. I don't care that much about it. So what I was going to say earlier, so Aaron Jones is going RB10 right now in terms of PPR, ADP. And if anybody doesn't know what that means average draft position. So that's criminally underrated, in my opinion. You should be top 8 easy on Aaron Jones. Davante Adams right now is going as the wide receiver 1, the first wide receiver off the board in ADP. So it seems like the best ball drafts and stuff like that right now, people aren't super scared of Aaron Rodgers leaving.
That's my feeling too. And maybe just because I'm getting that vibe that this ain't over, that might be affecting my outlook on this. But I definitely don't want to say don't go get Davante Adams. I just want to say he's not going to be the wide receiver 1 without Aaron Rodgers.
Agreed, man. And it's like Michael Thomas. I think he had a bad year last year, but he was also hurt. Michael Thomas is not going to have the same ceiling he had in 2019 without Drew Brees. Whoever, I don't care if it's Jameis Winston or I got to show this for Tran real quick. Tran says, as an Aaron Jones owner, manager, whatever, I give you a cyber high five. There you go, bud. I love Aaron Jones.
Everybody does.
I fought it. And Jason, you remember our conversations last year. I was like, Aaron Jones, I don't know, kind of a flash in the pan. I'm all in this year. I love Aaron Jones. I think he's great. I'm curious if you're going to keep him in our one league, Jason, but we can talk about that at a later time. But like I said, it just hurts. It just hurts Devontae Adams' ceiling.
Yeah.
But if Aaron Rodgers isn't there,
Right.
So, last but not least, my favorite sneaky player for Green Bay. He's not sneaky. He shouldn't be. But when you hear the name, you don't think, oh, man, got to go get that guy. Robert Tonyan. Scored 143 points. He was the tight end 3 last season. So, if A-Rod plays, you want him. If A-Rod doesn't play, what do rookies love? Or what do young, undeveloped quarterbacks love? Tight ends. So either way, go get you some Robert Tonyan. Don't draft him too early, but don't draft him too late. That guy could be perfect for your team.
I'm looking up his ADP right now.
Yeah, I have no idea. Obviously, they're not going to say he's going to be back at 3.
Dude, tight end 16.
Yeah, I don't love it.
And,
wow.
And that's – so he's going 127 overall. Jesus, get out of here with that garbage, man. That's crazy. Yeah, so I love him as I didn't know he was going that late. Freaking, we're just talking about all the trans players right now. He said,
Pretty
Jason,
much.
as a Italian owner, I also give you a fist bump. All right, we got to stop talking about trans players. But no, I agree with you, Jason. He's caught 10 touchdowns last season. Aaron Rodgers he was slinging it everywhere. 18 touchdowns for Devontae, 10 touchdowns for
the ladies.
Yeah, well, there you go. The way you said that was just creepy.
Well, he's always in the news.
That's true.
Not my fault. You should put it away. Put his pants on.
Put your pants on, Aaron.
Yeah, put your pants on, Aaron.
Jesus.
That's fantastic.
Anything to add? Is that it for Green Bay?
That's it for Green Bay.
I actually got a couple of facts about the Green Bay Packers. If you don't mind dusting off an old Jim here.
Oh, yeah.
We've renamed Bear Facts to NFL Shinfo with Cam. Shitty info. So I got some stats for you. I got 2 stats here for you. Well, facts about the Packers. The giant G actually stands for go fuck yourself, Rodgers, if you leave Green Bay. Because you're a piece of shit. And you're going to fucking ruin my goddamn league. Anyway, in the second one, it took the Packers until the 50s to realize that they had the fucking word green in their name to change their uniforms from navy blue and gold to fucking green. Good job, Packers.
And there it is. Shinfo with Cam.
Those are good. Those are facts. Those are good facts.
Yeah. Very much so. All right, so I'm going to take one right here. We're going to go with the old Chicago Bears. Got a few. They're actually surprising. When I was doing this, I was like, this team actually has quite a bit of fantasy value, other than wide receiver, which we'll get to in a second. So we'll go quarterback first. Andy Dalton is the presumptive starter for at least 2 games. 1 or 2 games, and then after that, the
4
Justin
snaps.
Yeah,
I love how the news was like, no, we're sticking with Andy Dalton as the starter. That conversation was just like, all right, look, we're going to play him for the first game, maybe the second, and then we're just switching him out. We just got to put it out in the press.
Yeah.
That dude,
you can't hurt his feelings, guys.
Yeah.
So I'm not concerned with Andy Dalton. Jason, you've been very
good looking,
very loud, very good looking, but very loud about how you felt about Andy Dalton this offseason. He couldn't get it done with the best receiving core in football from a fantasy perspective. He's not going to get it done with this receiving core at all. So I care nothing about Andy Dalton. Now, my man Justin Fields, that they moved up to 11 for, I got about 2 words for that. Konami code. What that is, if y'all don't know, if you haven't heard that, there's a thing going on Twitter. Running quarterbacks are literally a freaking cheat code for fantasy football. 10 yards counts as much as, 10 rushing yards counts as much as how many throwing yards? It's a lot more, basically. You have to throw a lot more yards, than to get 1 point than you do. You have to throw, 100 yards to get a point or something like that. I forget. Fuck, I suck at fantasy, guys. I can't think of anything right now. I'm having a rough day. Listen, I did training all day with these 2 new folks, and my brain and my voice is all jacked up. So
I like it.
What
Why
if-
were you yelling at him? Is that what you do for a living?
Yeah.
He
For
yelled
sure.
at him.
I just
Like,
yell
why
at
are
people.
y'all so stupid? Idiots.
Run
I wanna
better.
join that. Can I join the Air Force now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
No, I'll yell at you the most. Tran says Dalton struggles early. They replace him with Fields. David Montgomery goes wild because of a new QB, a rushing QB at that, or a dual threat. And as a David Montgomery owner, I approve. Oh, God bless America. We keep getting all of his stuff. So we'll talk about David Montgomery in a minute. Right now, so one thing, I love Justin Fields. I love his dual threat ability. He's not just a running quarterback, right? He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Trey Lance. He's definitely got some touch on the ball. He's accurate. His ADP right now is QB 21, so meaning he's the 21st QB off the board. Dalton is like 36 or something like that. And honestly, so with Justin Fields, his rushing upside will give him a solid floor for pretty much his entire career, in my opinion. I don't like the weapons, which we'll talk about in a minute. So that's going to cap his kind of passing production or his fantasy production in general. But he's going to provide a safe floor for you based off of his ability to rush the ball. Anything to add with Justin Fields?
I mean, I'm gonna let you explain why you don't like his weapons, because there's a few weapons I like a lot.
Cool.
I'm
I
ready
got
for that one.
Cool. And we can definitely hash that out. So David
Hash
Montgomery,
it out,
I'm calling David Montgomery the mayonnaise of running backs. because he's unremarkable, but he ties everything together. He's delicious. I don't know if he's delicious, but he is the mayo because he makes your whole fantasy team gel together, solid, unremarkable, but essential. Essential to the fantasy football sandwich that is your team.
He's delicious, right?
He's delicious, and he tastes great, like beaded egg whites.
I'm tagging
my
him in this shit
God.
on Twitter. I hope the fuck he watches.
Ooh. All right.
I don't care.
I'm like, you are delicious. At
David Johnson.
yeah.
I put mayonnaise on everything. I love
ranch. Like I just imagine like all your meals are just white, creamy, just nasty, amorphous blobs.
You're like, oh, Eric, you eating chicken Alfredo? He's like, no, this
I was
is
like,
chicken and
you know what looks delicious right now? Some ice cream with ranch. That's my mint chocolate chip with ranch is amazing. Y'all go. Everyone watching right now, go try that.
No, you're a son of a bitch.
So, anyways, David Montgomery, the mayo of running backs, he was the RB7 and half-point PPR per game scoring in 2020. He saw almost 250 carries, 68 targets, over 1,400 total yards, and 10 total touchdowns. He was super shifty. That was kind of his calling card coming out of college, was that he was very shifty. He was able to evade tackles, juke people out, and things of that nature. We did not see that in his rookie year. He struggled a lot to kind of, I guess, maybe learn the speed of the NFL. 2020, man, he got it. He was 11th in evaded tackles, saw a ton of work, 73.9% of the running back opportunity share, and that was 7th among running backs. Obviously, Tariq Cohen got injured pretty early in the season, but even when Tariq Cohen was on the field, David Montgomery was dominating. Dominating touches, at least carries especially. His best ball ADP right now is RB20, so that means he's a 20th running back off the board. And honestly, that feels about right to me. I don't want to take him too much earlier. I don't think he's a top 12 guy. I think RB7 is probably his career ceiling. But if I can get him as my second or even my third running back, my flex running back, let's go. I love that. I love David Montgomery in that aspect. He's a solid running back 2 on your team. Don't take him as your running back 1 unless you're going 0 RB, which I don't recommend.
No, don't do that.
No. A lot of people out there, clamor for it. I think they just like to be hot take artists, but whatever.
Yeah.
What about you, Cam? Do you like David Montgomery, Cam? Is he delicious?
I would not know if that man is delicious, but I will say I totally agree with you. Like if I'm doing a redraft league or if we were redrafting, that wouldn't be my guy I'm looking for right off the bat, but I would definitely take him in, later rounds. If he fell to me, like he would probably be one of my top guys to take as my RB2. So I like him, man. He's he's a good dude, I guess. He's delicious and he's a good dude.
He's a good dude. I mean, he give you his shirt off his back. You know.
Yeah.
Look, the deal is if if they can get a quarterback in Chicago who can make people respect his feet, David Montgomery goes boom. He explodes up because then now you're looking at a different offense. You're looking at different opportunities. So the opportunities we've seen him have, which is just run it up the damn middle. He's done what he could do. So if Fields can make people, if Fields can get that defensive end to think twice, you'll see a different Montgomery.
Yep, absolutely.
I like it.
He's going to come there and say, "Respect my feet." Scream at him. Put him smack him on the face. Like, look at him. Respect him.
Respect my feet.
Respect him. All right, so let's get to these weapons that you apparently love so much, Jason.
The guy that you've been preaching about for 2 months. Yeah.
One guy.
Yeah.
And I had a quick thing on Tariq Cohen. He's 1 year and one injury removed, from a 104 target season in 2019, and he actually saw 91 targets in 2018. You just alluded to it, Jason. It's a new offense. It's going to be a new offense, but I mean, he can be a legitimate weapon out of the backfield for you. So that's fair.
He's one I expect to see a lot of. I really do.
Hey man, and this is the next paragraph I have here is actually going to kind of lead to that. So to me, I said he's not moving the needle at a running back position. I'm not going to depend on him for carries or anything, but the Bears are sorely lacking depth in the wide receiver room. He lined up as a receiver on almost 25% of the snaps he played in the small 3-game sample size in 2020. So he can line up at the receiver position. So when you were saying weapons, I hear what you're saying. Tariq Cohen, man, a little slot receiver out there. Let's go.
And remember, he's really good at lining up in the slot. That's a thing that he does exclusively.
Absolutely.
I've never seen another scat back so good at it.
Yep. And then I just had Damian Williams and Khalil Herbert. He's a rookie. They're just his depth pieces. So don't worry about them. Don't draft them unless you're in an incredibly, incredibly, incredibly deep league. But that's all I got for the running back position. So let's get to my wide receiver. My man, my love. He is definitely delicious. Allen Robinson, wide receiver, perennial wide receiver 9 for the past 5 seasons. He's seen 150 target the past 2 seasons. I've belabored that point over and over to Jason's chagrin. He's a predictable.
I don't care anymore. I'm good now. He's got a quarterback now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
He's predictable low end wide receiver 1. He was wide receiver 10 in 2019, wide receiver 13 in 2020, depending on your scoring settings. I personally, so it just depends on how you like to draft your players. I love a high volume, consistent wide receiver 1 as my first wide receiver that I draft.
Yeah.
I don't need him to be Tyreek Hill. And I would love to have Tyreek Hill, but I won't. Where you have to draft Tyreek Hill, I'm personally looking at running backs in that area. Yeah. So give me a solid 150 target guy in the second round in Allen Robinson. I'll pair him with someone like a DJ Chark or something like that, someone who has incredible upside to kind of counterbalance. So now you got a ceiling and a floor approach. So yeah, man, I love Allen Robinson. He's going to be Justin Fields' best friend. He's always open. He's incredible at contested catches. So give me all the Allen Robinson. And his ADP right now is 35.2. And that's the back of the third round.
Yeah. It sounds like they took my advice for a minute. It looks like but no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man, that just makes conventional sense to me. He'll start moving up and up and up and up and up and up before we get to September.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And that's kind of I love him at the end of the third, but if I've got to take him at the beginning of the second, then that's when I'm going to have a problem. I think when I actually rank my wide receivers, he'll probably come in around 10 to 13 or something like that. That's where I like him. But I'm not taking him as the 6th wide receiver off the board or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
And then Tran says, imagine having a volume team with Allen Robinson and Michael Thomas. Lord have mercy. Freaking our 2-time champion has both of those players on this team, so that's great. Our 2-time in our dynasty league. Yeah. He's a real son of a gun. Nobody
Fuck you, Burnham.
Piece of shit.
I put it in the chat. I put it in the show. I'm gonna put it on the pod. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah. Darnell Mooney is next. He showed some promise as a rookie in 2020. My man is skinny as hell, but he's fast as hell too. Crazy stat about him. 43% of his fantasy – oh, sorry, excuse me. 43% of his total fantasy points came in the fourth quarter last season. Almost half were in one quarter. Garbage time, baby. It's garbage time. Yeah. So that was Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback. Let's get him some more consistent targets. Let's get him going maybe sooner than the fourth quarter. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think – go ahead, Cam.
That was the one I was waiting for because I watched quite a few Bears games last year. And I love Mooney, man. I'm so high on him. Like, he's fun to watch. First of all, that's how I noticed him. To be honest with you, he wasn't really on my radar. But watching those games, like, I was like, there's that spark there. He is going to be good next year. And, they had this is probably mid-season when I was like, hey, I like this guy. And, of course, they had Trubisky. And I was like, that sucks. But the fact that they got Fields, I think he's going to be targeted more. I'm not going to say a whole lot more, but I think he's going to be more spread out and he's going to be more consistent. I see a great upside with him. I really like Mooney.
So anybody that's watching that hasn't seen this, go on YouTube and look at Mooney release off the line of scrimmage. He is crossing. He's like a basketball player, man. He's crossing people's freaking ankles. He's just a magician off the line of scrimmage. Oh, we lost Jason. Yep. Back. I'm sure he'll be back. But I'm with you, Cam. That's how I noticed him as well. I was watching a random Chicago game, and I was like, who is this kid? He's always open. He's always open.
It's wild. That was exactly not exactly, but that's pretty much what I said. I was like, look at this dude. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, even when there was a few times I called it out during the season where he was open, and he just didn't get the ball thrown to him. And I'm like, this dude is good. Like, I'm excited to watch him again this year. I would love to be a Mooney owner in any league.
Man, I sent a second-round offer for him in our Dynasty League, like, as soon as the season ended. I forget who's got him. And they were like, no way.
Yeah, I got denied him too. I forgot who it
I forget who it is, but yeah. Any thoughts on Darnell Mooney? Jason, do you like him at all?
No, you guys covered it.
Cool.
I don't disagree.
So cool. Jameer Bird is listed by – so I love ourlads.com for any of my depth chart information. They have him as a slotting receiver. The starting slot receiver. It's going to be slotting receiver now.
Slotting receiver.
Slotting receiver. Tyreek Hill is a slotting receiver. No,
he's out there slotting real hard.
Slotting. Played nearly 80% of his snaps on the outside, though, for New England in 2020. Then again, Julian Edelman being there, that kind of makes sense. Could he have been brought in as a replacement for Anthony Miller? And to segue into Anthony Miller, a familiar refrain around him is, and I've said it a bunch of times, oh, man, if he could just stay healthy, he's going to be awesome. My man has played 47 out of 48 games in his career. Granted, he played with a dislocated shoulder in his rookie season. He also scored a lot of touchdowns in his rookie season, caught 7 touchdowns in his rookie season, followed that up with 2 in the past 2 seasons. So to me, that seems like an outlier. If I've got 2 consistent things there, that's weird. He's not had a 100-yard receiving game since Week 15 in 2019. And it's been widely speculated. I've seen a bunch of news reports out there that he's probably going to be released. They're trying to trade him. There's different things going on with Anthony Miller. As far as fantasy football goes, I don't want anything to do with him. Unless you're in a dynasty, he is talented, but maybe a fresh coat of paint, being in a new uniform, would help him out a lot. But I don't want him. I don't want anything to do with him if he's playing with the Bears.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And then to probably my favorite tight end of the offseason. My man, Cole Kmet.
There you go.
He is like the darling on Twitter. Like he's kind of like the who was it last season? The kid for the Rams. Not Shaheen. You know what I'm talking about? Not Gerald Everett, the other tight end for the Rams.
Tyler Higbee?
Tyler Higbee, yes. Everybody was losing their shit about Tyler Higbee, but that was like a 5-game sample size. Cole Kmet was on a hell of a lot larger sample size in 5 games as a rookie. He checks all the boxes. He's 6'6", 258. He's got second-round draft capital. You love to see that. He was 22nd in snaps played at the tight end position, right behind Jimmy Graham, who for some weird reason is still there in Chicago. I don't know what is happening with that, but whatever. His catchable target rate was 68.2%. That's 38th among all tight ends. So better QB play from either Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, whoever it might be. Those targets he got are going to be infinitely more valuable. The 68.2% catchable rate is trash. Mitchell Trubisky, Nick Foles, be ashamed of yourselves. It's the tight end 22 right now in best ball ADP, which, I mean, that's a yard sale deal, in my opinion. You're getting an old Barry Bonds rookie car for 25 cents, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, he is my man to target, and my advice, target him later in your drafts if you miss on, Darren Waller, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson, Mark Andrews, those kind of top 5 guys. Look at a Cole Kmet. He's good, man. I personally think I put it out there on the show doc. He could he could be number 2 on that team in targets.
Yeah, absolutely.
He really could. So I love Cole Kmet, and that's it for the Chicago Bears. Oh, if you're an IDP guy, Roquan Smith broke out in a big way in 2020. Target him often and early in your IDP, whether it be dynasty startup drafts, IDP redraft stuff. My man he's a really good linebacker.
He was incredible on my team.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
If you're going to move on, I actually have a couple of Bear facts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh shit!
All right, so this actually isn't bullshit. This is pretty cool. The Bears ranked 4th overall in a win-loss record. Well, in the NFL win-loss records was 777 wins, 599 losses, and 42 ties.
Wow.
Yeah, and
They've
above
been around
them,
for a long time.
yeah, and the only teams above them, they were 4th. And I remember the Packers, I believe they were 1st, and I believe Dallas was 2nd.
That makes sense.
So, that's pretty wild. And then also, there are over 10 bears in the entire world. Bear facts.
There's over 10?
Over 10.
Over 10?
Yep.
We're gonna see Cam get attacked, but from behind by a bear.
By a bear, yeah.
It's gonna be so great. Hey, then we'd blow up. Like, everybody would be posting that shit everywhere. Like, they wouldn't see the whole thing.
This
but
dude
they would
died. He died from a bear attack live on a podcast.
I'm glad I could boost you guys in my death.
Well, I'll take what we can get. Trent says, don't forget the Bears have never had a 4,000 passing yard season from a quarterback. Holy smokes.
That's funny.
Come on, Justin Fields. Let's go, baby.
Yep.
All right, Jason, you want to hit them with
Yeah,
the Vikings, right?
we're getting a little bit late here, so I'm
Oh, snap. Yeah, we'll run through it real quick. I didn't realize.
All right.
We've just been having fun,
It's been a good pod, yeah. All right, so I'm going to burn through these. All right, and this shouldn't be any surprise. We already talked about the Vikings earlier. I was kind of showing my love. Cam brought up Dalvin Cook. So here's the deal. Kirk Cousins was a quarterback 11 last year. I think he's only going to be better based on the fact that they have, the 5th hardest schedule in 2021. So defense isn't great, which means, and they're working on it, don't get me wrong, but this means that Kirk Cousins is going to be throwing the shit out of the football. And with that being said, you have a guy who was a wide receiver 6 last year, his rookie year, should have been offensive. I mean, not trying to throw stones at Herbert, but should have been offensive rookie of the year. Guy blew out a Randy Moss rookie record. Okay, guy's nasty.
That's wild.
Just nasty. So, and you only expect Justin Jefferson to get better. So he's competent. And let's just get behind that. He was a wide receiver 6. Adam Thielen was a wide receiver 8. His top 2 receivers were top 10 in fantasy football. So Kirk Cousins is obviously a guy you want. He's obviously, if you look at his career, he's extremely consistent. He's going to continue to ball out. And when he's pressed, when he has to play these games where, he's constantly being challenged on the other side of the ball, dude is just going to continue to drive down the field. The only 2 games I'm even remotely worried about is I think he plays that Ravens trio, those CBs, and then he plays the Rams. So obviously Jalen Ramsey's going to get a game on Justin Jefferson. We expect to see that. But if he blows him out, it'll be one of the biggest highlights of 2021. So, I don't know. Do you guys disagree with Kirk and his top two receivers?
Nope.
I will push back on Adam Thielen. A lot of his production was based on touchdowns last season.
14. Yeah, he had 14 touchdowns.
A lot of touchdowns. So, but don't hear what I'm not saying. I do like Adam Thielen, but Justin Jefferson is the man there now.
Yeah, Thielen's definitely not going to be a top 10 guy again.
Yeah, no. And then Kirk Cousins, I just looked at it. He's going off the board at QB 18 in ADP. Don't play him during that Baltimore game. You can pick him up in the very probably the late rounds of your draft. You can potentially stream him or something as well. So no, I don't disagree. I like Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
All right, and so we're just gonna keep moving along. Dalvin Cook, he was the RB3 of 2020 only because Alvin Kamara scored 6 touchdowns in a game, which isn't going to happen again. And then Derrick Henry had 378 carries or something ridiculous like that. So tighten up, baby. But so Dalvin Cook, he's so mad, especially because Ezekiel Elliott wasn't in this conversation. But yeah, I mean, Dalvin Cook is the true RB2 of last year, and Dalvin Cook could be the true RB1 or 2 this year. I'm only concerned with CMC coming back. Maybe he comes back and pushes him down a spot, but I still see Dalvin Cook as a top 3 fantasy running back.
Absolutely.
Where would you take him? And if you had your druthers, you could take him wherever. Would you take him as high as 1 in a draft, or is CMC reserved?
I would still take Derrick Henry number 1 right now. I'd probably take Christian McCaffrey number 2, and then I'd take Dalvin Cook at number 3.
Okay. What about you, Cam?
I mean, so I would take Henry at 3, and Christian McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook would be 1 or 2 for me. Like those two, like it's just wild. Like as much as I know Henry's going to do phenomenal this year, and I'm a proud fucking manager. He's on my team. I just think that honestly, fucking for everybody likes hot takes. If the Vikings didn't have such like a tough schedule this year, I would put Dalvin Cook at going over 2,000 yards this year. Like I would legitimately project him doing that. Like that'd be my guess because he got close and he was out for how many games? The dude's a monster, man. How much younger is he than Henry?
He's like 3 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook's 24 or 25.
This dude's still got multiple years where he's gonna fucking tear it up. So
it's a game of opportunities though, and so I have to push back because it's a game of opportunities, and Tennessee doesn't really have many weapons. But when you look at Minnesota, Dalvin Cook was second in carries last year, only behind Derrick Henry. When you get into these games with these bigger time offenses, you're playing the NFC West and the AFC North. When you're playing those guys with these big time offenses, Kirk Cousins is probably going to be throwing the ball a little bit more than he did this previous season. So that's my assumption as to why Henry's probably still going to have the better amount of opportunity between the two. But hell, if Dalvin Cook catches a bunch of balls over the backfield and does crazy shit, it still could, it could change the tide. Again, I think CMC is really the only thing coming in between these two guys being 1 and 2.
Right. I see what you're saying.
I'm just looking up, seeing how many targets Dalvin Cook had last season. He was top 15 in running back targets. He saw 54 targets. So it's not like he wasn't. He's a 3-down back. He's one of the few legit 3-down backs. So I love Dalvin Cook. I would probably take him at 2. I think I'm with you, Cam. Probably CMC and then Dalvin Cook. Mm-hmm. And I'm keeping him in our league. So I love that, Jason.
All right, last thing. Herb Smith Jr., 6'2". He ran a 4.6, 40 that is. He shared some time with Rudolph last year. But his seven deep targets, get this, his 7 deep targets ranked 13th at the position. His average target distance of 8.3 ranked 10th, and he was second at the position in fantasy points per target last season.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. That's a lot. It was a lot of notes there. But in the 5 games that Irv Smith Jr. played with no timeshare, he averaged 10.68 points a game. And that was only on 3 receptions and 4 targets. That was the average. He was being targeted 4 times a game. He was catching the ball 3 times, and he was coming away with 10 points. I think Irv Smith has a very big-time potential. Really comes down to how much Kirk Cousins targets the tight ends. He only targeted them 106 times in 2020. That's 6 targets a game. So we hope that, again, with the more difficult schedule, he's throwing the ball more consistent or more often, and we hope that Irv Smith will get a few more targets. We'd like to see him get more than 6. But, again, this is a guy catching the ball 3 times a game and getting away with 10 points. So
that's wild.
He's scoring a lot of touchdowns in.
Yeah, he scored. He's got. I mean, he's a huge guy. So
that's pretty awesome.
So if he was on a 6-target pace for 17 games, obviously I'm looking at last year's, and that's a 16-game pace, but that would put him 5th among tight ends and targets. So
yeah, his ADP is 19 right now.
Okay. Shoot.
Okay.
Let's go.
So people are aware.
No. ADP is tight end 19. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
Off the board. Yeah. I don't have the
aware.
actual. Yeah.
There's a lot of those late kind of round tight ends this season, more than I can remember in a few seasons. Like Cole Kmet, Irv Smith Jr., Jared Cook. There's a lot of folks out there that could really dominate, not I want to say dominate, but provide a ton of value and let you get other players in the top of the draft instead of investing so heavily in Travis Kelce or those guys.
Yep.
I'm not mad at that at all. All right, so we are running long, so let me get to the Detroit Lions real quick.
Hold on. I got a Viking fact that I really want to give you. I'm just going to give you one. I'm not going to do 2 for the sake of time. If the Vikings move to another city, they may or may not still be called the Vikings. Shinfo.
That's great. I love it so much.
That's good.
All right, so Jared Goff, you going to learn today. That's all I'm going to say about that. He's going to miss having Sean McVay in his helmet. He's going to miss having his voice in his ear. He's going to miss having those weapons that they had in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. He's going to miss a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. Terrible weapons in Detroit. But I did say the offense isn't bad. The offensive line is not bad. The running game should be pretty good and kind of give take some pressure off of him. But listen, that defense is so bad. They are the lowest projected win total team by Cynthia Freeland. That means they're going to be playing from behind a lot. Hey, Jared Goff might do his best Blake Bortles impersonation. Garbage time hero. I mean,
Bortles.
Getting you all those garbage time points. With DeAndre Swift, love him. Finishes the RB15 in PPR per game scoring as a rookie last season. He's really adept as a receiver out of the backfield. He received the highest receiving grade from PFF of any of the rookies from 2020. So that bodes well for him, and the fact that they've been playing him out of the slot and stuff. Dan Campbell had been saying that he wanted to do that. He had a bad juke rate, RB62, and he did not create after contact. He was 1.7 yards after contact per attempt. We can compare that to David Montgomery, who was 2.4 yards after attempt per contact. Oh my God, yards after contact per attempt. I told you it's been a long day, guys.
Good job, buddy.
Here. Thank you. It's reading is hard. I don't look too much into that, to be honest. To me, it's about volume. Like if your secondary analytics are great, that's even better. But he's going to get everything up there.
Yeah,
everything. Kerryon Johnson's gone now.
And he's the namesake, dog. His name's Swift. How can he not be fucking good?
My problem though is the hype train behind him has pushed him way too far up in ADP, in my opinion. He's RB14, 20.9 overall. That's too rich for me. He's going before guys like Cam. Let me ask you this: who would you rather have, DeAndre Swift or Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Where would he fall in your rankings with those, like all 4 of them?
Before J.K., and that's it.
I got to agree with that.
CEH will be second, and Who was the other one you mentioned?
Cam Akers.
Cam Akers would be first. Yeah.
Yeah, Cam Akers easily number one. I've been trying like a motherfucker to get Cam Akers.
You've
from
just
Erik.
been saying, "Give me Cam Akers."
I'm
That's all
trying.
you've been saying.
I'm trying. Like,
Oh,
I don't know what you want me to do.
Speaking of a trade offer, Jason. Trent says,
No.
Jason, give me John Taylor.
No.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Watch this. I'm going to show you how
Anyway.
great of friends me and Jason are. Hey, Jason, give me John Taylor.
No.
Fuck.
You're all on the same friendship level as him and Trent.
Shit.
No, that's not true. But God damn it, you had me lost.
Trent.
You had me lost. Yeah, Trent, because your back fucking tattoo. We can get on this another time. The goddamn tattoo. Anyways,
But should we schedule the draft for my tattoo?
yeah, we're not going to talk about.
Guys, I can't drive an hour and a half with a sweaty back. Shut up. Stop being a baby.
Fucking
Damn.
asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
And we lost him.
Yeah, he went away.
He's like, fuck these guys, man.
We were
Love you,
talking
buddy.
about J.K. Dobbins.
J.K.
Yeah.
Dobbins. We were just talking about J.K.
I'll
Dobbins.
get into that next week. I have some things you might want to hear.
Yeah, I like J.K. Dobbins a lot. I talked to somebody on Clubhouse about him the other day. But okay, let's run through this real quick. So the entire receiving core. So my longest running fantasy team name since 2011 is Doo Butter.
Do the butter.
Little did I know that was named after the 2020 Detroit Lions receiving core.
I love it.
They are literally doo butter. It's butter made from doo. They're shitty. Cam, do you get what I'm saying?
I get it, and you're gonna say something about it being smooth too, because you like crunchy butter.
No, it's crunchy. It's crunchy doo butter. That's how bad.
That's funny.
This is from Clint. Big Chill. May I have JT?
No.
May I have some more, please?
I was waiting for him to be like, yeah, and be like, when the fuck did this friendship start? Like,
I'll do this real quick. Rashad Perryman, Tyrell Williams, Khalif Raymond are the projected starters in 11 personnel packages. I'll have none of that, please.
None.
You keep all that. I'm good. I truly do believe Quintez Cephas and Amon-Ra St. Brown are the two wide receivers to target. Don't draft them. Let someone else do that. Pick them up off of waivers later in the season, and they may give you that kind of rookie wide receiver push that you need in your fantasy playoffs. I have to stop talking about this because it's making me legitimately depressed. So let me get to my man. I love him. TJ Hawkinson. He will be the number one targeted receiver on this team. Probably like double everyone else. He finished as the tight end 5 last season. He's being drafted right now as the tight end 5 at the end of the 5th round. That's my problem, though.
So
I can't see myself taking him in the 5th round.
You can't see why.
I don't invest in tight end that highly. That's just kind of my personal philosophy.
you're biased.
Is he worth that? Nah. Yeah, I don't know. So you think about it. You could get two running backs, 2 wide receivers, and then TJ Hawkinson. It would depend on what my team looks like. But I think he's going to have almost a Darren Waller-like season from last season. All the targets, the team's number one receiving weapon, and he's probably going to catch quite a few touchdowns in garbage time.
Agreed.
And he's a high draft capital guy. He's going to get all of that, all of everything. I would say this, though. The guys going around him, Brandon Ayuk, David Johnson, Ronald Jones, Will Fuller, and Odell Beckham Jr. are right around that same ADP.
Let me get Odell. I'll take Odell instead.
Dude, I think I'd take TJ Hawkinson over all of those. No, besides Brandon Ayuk. I love me some Brandon Ayuk.
We were just shitting on Odell Beckham now? All right.
No, I like
we are, because that's what he enjoys.
All right, we'll talk about it next week. Yeah,
right.
it's good. That was good.
He likes the receiving core.
He does enjoy being sat on. Yeah, that's right.
He likes the Detroit Lions receiving core. He's like, oh, doo-doo butter? I order that monthly.
That's horrible.
Once again, with TJ Hawkinson, I'd rather grab Cole Kmet, Jared Cook, somebody like that later instead of spending a 5th round. Irv Smith too. Yeah, easy. Yep. What's your fact for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, we're some Detroit fans.
In America, it costs $5,000 for a lion and over $300,000 for a baby lion, a cub, which is more revenue than the Detroit Lions bring in a year.
Get wrecked.
Wow.
I hope Burnham sees this.
Roy.
He's a Detroit Lions fan.
Is
Well,
he
that's
really?
it, fellas. Yeah, he is.
All right, hit me with the kneel down.
He's from that area.
Hit me with the kneel down. It just came in hot off the presses. Straight from fucking Ohio. Wadsworth, Ohio. Joe Mitch would like you boys to answer how you're going to feel about Aaron Rodgers and the Las Vegas Raiders winning the Super Bowl this year.
So your little brother wants to know that, huh?
He wants to know.
I mean, so for me, if I don't know. I thought I had something and I didn't know. I don't know.
Cam is flabbergasted over there.
Yeah,
I think you have
off.
a better chance of winning the $300,000 that Cam was talking about earlier by go bet 00 at roulette in Vegas. Then you have a better chance of winning that than they have of winning the Super Bowl in the next 15 years. Ooh. I don't care if Aaron Rodgers is there, Tyreek Hill is there. Al Davis will find a way to poison that team with his stupid child haircut, looking like a character from freaking American Horror Story or something. Yeah. How creepy is that guy? Like, he definitely touches boys. Like, he definitely touches little boys.
Hot take. Somebody tag him on Twitter.
Fuck him. I don't care.
Yeah.
Have you seen his haircut before? He looks like an idiot.
Yeah, he has a bowl cut.
That's horrible.
Yeah, but it's like
a red bowl cut.
I've never noticed. Wait. Hold on.
Yeah,
what should I Google?
Just Al Davis.
Al Davis. Just Al Davis. Cam's gonna bust out laughing. Is Josh there?
He is.
All right.
Josh.
Shut up. I'm gonna shut up over
there. If I didn't have the headphones in, I'd turn it
so
you won't be able to hear him.
He's breathing too loud over there. I can hear him.
Okay.
I'm just joking. He's not.
That is fucking.
It's horrible, isn't it?
He did it himself, right?
This is great. This is great podcast material right here. All right, let me Google this image real quick.
No, sorry.
See this.
No.
That was fucking horrible. Like, this dude obviously was running out of time and was like, "I gotta look good on camera," and then fucked himself up.
So you and your wife, Cam, are like huge horror fans. He looks like he should be in American Horror Story.
Absolutely.
He looks like he would be like protagonist, or like at least the creepy person who gets, I don't know. Anyways, this has got away from me, guys.
Yeah.
This was fun, though. I enjoyed NFC North prognostications about fantasy football. I love talking fantasy football. We had 3 separate Jonathan Taylor trade offers come through. That's kind of wild.
Fucking denied.
And all denied because y'all didn't offer him anything. You just said, "Hey,
let me get Taylor."
Yeah,
I tried my best strategy.
Same thing with me. I'm not just going to give
Cam
you Cam Akers because you just
give me Cam Akers.
No,
please.
You can't speak that into existence.
There, I fucking said please. Still no? Okay.
Boys, it's been fun. Let's do it again next week. What do y'all think?
I'm down.
Sounds good. AFC North. I'm ready.
AFC North next week. That's awesome. Cam, get on a Dynasty Talk weekly episode script, if you will.
Yeah.
Go ahead and send that to us. But if y'all ain't got nothing else to say, we'll get on out of here.
That's all I got.
Good,
gentlemen.
All right.
This was fun.
Saluted. Double salutes. Woo! Wolfpack, baby.
There it is.
Trent.